Bones are amazing things. They hold us up, they support us, they make us strong. But bones have other uses. In the past, bones were thrown by diviners, seeking out the mysteries of the future. Now the bones are cubes, made of plastic or resin, but they still reveal things to us. As they fall from our fingers and rattle across the table, the story becomes clear. Welcome to Bone Throwers Theater, an RPG actual play podcast.
Welcome back to Bone Throwers Theater. My name is Jeff, and I am playing Demetrius Norden.
And my name is Mike, and I'm playing Valentine Montecute.
And my name is Jeremy, and I'm playing Grayson Digby.
Howdy, I'm Johnny. I'm playing Byrom Michael.
And I'm Jordan. I'm the GM, and today we are introducing a new member of the party.
My name is Aaron, and I am playing Brother Benedict.
Who probably will be doing a lot of praying.
Yes.
We'll need it.
Yes, so indeed.
So Aaron is a friend of mine. We've known each other for a few months now. We were actually sharing a weekend retreat out in the woods of Western Maryland. And I somehow brought up that I had been playing in role-playing groups, and he was interested, and so I invited him along. Aaron, you've mostly played Dungeons and Dragons before, if I remember correctly.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, so were you playing like 5th edition, 4th edition?
Mostly 4th.
Mostly 4th?
We did one round of 5th.
5th is a lot more player-friendly in my mind.
Yes.
I enjoy it a lot.
You don't have to know the rules as in depth to play 5th.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah. 4th edition definitely. There's a lot of fun about 4th edition, but it's almost like board game rules in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So, Brother Benedict is a new character. Tell us a little bit about him. So, if I remember correctly, Brother Benedict was actually raised by a hermit.
Yes.
After he had run away from the family farm.
That is correct. Brother Benedict was a young lad running away from the farm from what he felt was an abusive family, and was rescued by a friendly gentleman who took him and raised him in the monkish ways, taught him how to read, how to study, as well as fighting with fisticuffs and staff, until the gentleman died of natural causes very peacefully in his sleep, in which case I buried him and left.
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, he rescued you from like a boar attack.
Yes, a wild boar. I was starving, had no food, and we actually feasted on the boar,
Nice.
which was great because, again, I was hungry.
Revenge is a dish best served roasted.
Yes, this is true.
Roasted revenge.
And with a little bit of garlic.
Yeah.
Garlic's always good.
So, and then when he passed away, you went into Dyncham and actually saved a lord from a highway bandit, if I remember correctly.
Yes, on my way in, I had no idea who this guy was. Was on my way in, got accidentally caught up in a highway robbery, saved this gentleman, this lord, who then recommended my services to the crown.
All right, pretty good. So when we last left off, and I'm going to just go ahead and read my previously blurb that I had written up. It's going to be a little long, but it's been a while since we've been together. The party met the Crown's chief spy, Lord Dudley Walsham, at the Seven Stars Ale House. Lord Walsham told them of a mysterious set of gears that were stolen from a delivery cart bound for the Horologists' Guild. They go to the guild house to speak with Will Cooper, a witness to the attack who barely escaped with his life. Will tells them how the attack occurred. The party went to investigate the attack on the road north of Dyncham. While there, they discover a Riemann prayer book and are then attacked on the road. Their attackers overpower them, and they are taken to a dungeon. One of their captors, Cyril Beckett, recognizes Grayson and comes to gloat. He lets slip 2 important facts. First, they're in the house of Elias Dyncham. Second, Dyncham is in love with Queen Beth. After he leaves, the party are able to get the door off the hinges and escape the dungeons. They find themselves in an oddly deserted building. Once they go outside, they are attacked by a dog as they run for shelter in the forest. Valentine, in particular, has the worst time escaping from the dog. They get away and are able to steal boats to escape Dyncham House via the river. And so my thought is that you went your separate ways. You took care of some things on your own, and you've decided now to meet again and discuss what you're going to do at this juncture. So we're going to go ahead and say that you guys are meeting at Demetrius's shop. Demetrius, what does your shop look like? What's some of the defining features?
Well, there's workbenches everywhere and cogs and gears. We went through this description before. Basically an open warehouse sort of setting with benches along the walls.
Okay. Do you have like a showroom or anything like that?
Yeah, there's a showroom at the front of the shop. A little blocked off area. It's like 3 walls, cubicle style, with a couple of clocks and other mechanical wonders.
Ooh.
Basic little tools.
Yeah. Now, one thing that you have mentioned previously was that your specialty was mantle clocks.
Yes.
If I remember correctly. So, do you like have a lot of your really nice displays on the clock the walls for those, or?
There's like 1 or 2 pieces just for show, but all the really nice pieces have been sold.
Right. Or were commissioned work.
Yeah, commissioned work. Each bench has several small projects on it. There's like 5 or 6 benches in the warehouse.
Okay.
And each one has like a major work that they're working on and small little clocks or watches that each individual clockmaker is working on.
And this is at your own shop. This is not
Your
at
personal.
the horologist
Personal
guild.
shop.
Yes,
Yeah.
personal shop.
I thought we were
yes.
talking about the horologist guild.
No, we're talking about
okay.
your own
Personal
personal shop.
Personal shop, there's only like 2 workbenches.
Okay.
It's
I
a
was
lot,
thinking
it's
you had
a
a
lot smaller.
big
It's a
office.
lot smaller. Yeah. In the back, there's my workbench that has a couple of different things on it and a clear table for designing. And
Is it like in a 2-story building, or is it?
yeah, the shop on the bottom, housing on top. That's where I stay.
Okay. And so your colleagues from Her Majesty's Secret Service are coming over. Do you like having people come over to your shop, or is it something that you find a little aggravating?
Well, it's a shop, so I expect people to come.
Well,
over.
exactly. Like you expect customers, but you don't expect people to come on secret business.
Secret meetings.
Secret meetings.
Very secret.
Yeah.
Secret.
It's a little irritating because usually people dig through things, poke around, looking, trying to be like, ooh, what's this? What's that? Messing with stuff,
Yeah.
moving tools slightly, just irritating.
Does it bother you when I do this?
And usually just close the cases before people come over to visit.
So when you get there, Byrom, what is the state of his chimney like?
Oh.
A little crusty.
While he's very meticulous with his clocks, he's also very cheap and doesn't like to have his chimney cleaned.
Oh my god.
It's like the one area that I don't really care because I don't see it. Out of sight, out of mind.
Yes, but it's a fire hazard if you don't clean it.
It also carbon monoxide
It's
hazard.
cleaned once a year.
By whom?
I don't know, there's a cheap kid around the corner. I tell him to grab a stick and climb up there and clean it.
No wonder it looks so bad.
Yeah.
Grayson, what's something that you notice when you arrive at the shop?
Well, Grayson, when he comes in, walks in, and he's carrying a bag just over his shoulder, and immediately just walks right over to the fireplace, kicks off his shoes, throws them into the fireplace, pulls a brand new pair of shoes out, and puts them on. And it says, are you going to light a fire anytime soon, please?
I hope not.
Yes, there will be a fire if there isn't one already.
All right. Very, very well. Those don't need to exist anymore.
All right then.
Burning
won't
leather
ask.
is going to smell horrible.
Yeah,
I won't ask.
just a bit horrible.
It'll smell good for about 5 minutes.
Oh, sure. And then it won't.
Yeah.
Valentine, what's something that you notice when you arrive?
I definitely see it's a little unkempt. I'm gonna make a kind of a bit of a wise comment saying, I'm glad I swooned the ladies and got my clothes nice and tailored before I came in here, because that would go all out the window walking in this place.
It's not unkempt. It's well kept.
Everything has its place.
Everything has its place.
Well,
There's no cobwebs.
I forgot. In your universe,
No dust.
this is well kept.
And so, at this point, you guys start talking about what you want to do, how you want to address the situation and everything that's going on. So, if you want to go ahead and throw around some ideas that you might have had, or like thoughts about how you should continue on with your investigation.
Well, we should contact the Lord.
You get some strength help.
Well,
That might not be a bad idea.
only if we plan on doing a assault on the.
Well, no, we have quite a bit of leverage right now. We've got
That's true.
some good information.
Yes.
We need to prioritize that information and use it to our benefit.
How would you prioritize the information, Grayson?
Well, we would want to keep the most beneficial for us for last. So, right now, we have 2 bits of information that are very important. The Dyncham House is
Severely involved.
and they are practicing not the sanctioned religion.
Yes.
That is number 1. Okay? That seems like a big thing, but even bigger is Lord Dyncham has a thing for the Queen. If we can hold that bit of information for the most opportune time.
I agree with that. We keep that in reserve. However, the practicing of religions on this estate should come to the attention of the authorities, I believe. If nothing else, it could give us a way to inspect other circumstances on the property, I would say.
Well, you got to remember we are supposed to be doing this quickly and covertly. So if we ourselves bring in the authorities, then we've just our usefulness is out the window.
We bring in the authorities. I'm saying we help with the investigation.
You are the investigation.
We are in the investigation
No, I'm saying
at this
the
point.
official investigation when the authorities are brought in. Therefore, they have no reason to evict us from the property.
Except that none of us are sanctioned to be there.
Well, that's not an issue. The Lord can take care of that.
I don't want my name wrapped up in official business with this.
Me either.
Do we have to have
Likewise.
official names?
I mean, I've got plenty of unofficial names,
Exactly.
but I only have one official face, which has already been recognized once.
I can take care of that. You forget. I love the theater. I know all the ins and outs. Costume and makeup.
You also have a trained actor here.
Yes, sir. So if we ever need to go into...
All right, yeah, so let's send him in.
I was born for this.
So I believe the next move is to go to the 7 Stars.
Well, hold on. We know that the Dyncham House is involved in missing gears, but do we know that they're the ones that obtained the missing gears?
Well, they did take us captive when we were investigating the
They
scene
took
of
us
the crime.
captive, but that doesn't necessarily mean they took it. It could mean that they were after it and came too late.
Well, I suspect that they probably did take it.
They
Question,
did
do they
take-
still have it?
They did take it, because remember, we found a book, and they obviously were coming to retrieve that
That's
book.
right.
Yes.
Why else would they have come back?
They weren't expecting us, certainly. Like
We
I
weren't
said,
expecting them either,
No.
unfortunately.
We would
question
have been
is-
a little bit more prepared were we expecting them.
who are they selling them to? Or are they keeping them in-house? Do you know of any manufacturers working for House Dyncham?
That might be a knowledge roll.
Yeah. That would be under wit, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, look, you didn't roll a 1.
Close.
Well, close is not a 1.
Yeah.
12, you don't know that much about Dyncham House. It seems like they've mostly worked on shipping and importing. It looks like the Dynchams actually might have... His father actually left the country about 15 years ago to work in the colonies. You know that they keep lines of information open with the colonies across the sea, but you don't know of any actual manufacturing. They seem to be more importing, exporting agricultural information, like plants, skins, that kind of stuff, more than
It's more about goods than
mechanical work. So if they are branching into mechanical work, then that is a new thing for Dyncham House. It is possible people build their portfolios all the time, but it's not something that you've heard any news of. Of course, that's something that you could always investigate if you want.
I could ask around my associates to figure it out.
If you remember, I do know someone that is in their services.
This is true.
However, that's going to require a little bit more greasing, if you know what I mean. I need more dirt on Cyril, because I've already used what I have to try and get our items back.
Well, thank you for that, by the way. Trying to
Which we need to go to 7 stars anyway to see if that delivery has been made.
By the way, you guys are still injured, if I'm not mistaken? Or
No, we were healed.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just was
We went to the underground.
apothecary.
Yeah.
Cool. So you decide to go to the 7 Stars Ale House, which it's not at its peak in terms of business at this point. It's still early morning. You guys are meeting back a few days after your original assessment. You know, enough time to heal up, to work a few days in your normal job so that it doesn't seem like you're out of place. You know what I mean? And so now you're able to go back and continue. But the 7 Stars Ale House is not at its most crowded. There's not really a tavern or like an inn associated with it. It's only a drinking establishment. So you do see some people who are there getting breakfast and rashers of bacon, bread. Some people are having porridge, eggs, that kind of thing for breakfast. But not a lot of people are there for fortification and enjoyment, as we shall say. But you do find that Lord Walsham is there. He comes at fairly regular intervals to talk to different agents and different people who are working different plots and machinations, as we shall say. And you do see him sitting there with someone in a monk's robe. And he seems to be talking animatedly with this individual. If you want, you can go ahead and go up to him and see if he's available. Or
Well, Grayson would head straight to the bar.
straight to the bar.
Straight to the bar and sort of just wait on the bartender to acknowledge his presence. I mean, he's going to stand back from the bar, not like he's there as a customer, but just standing, just waiting for the bartender to acknowledge him. So sort of just looking around like he's...
The bartender is standing
He's
there.
obviously waiting for something. He's not...
You want a drink?
No, sir. My master has sent me here to try and retrieve something that should have been left for him here. I believe you're supposed to have a package for Oliver Ryan Jameson.
Go ahead and make me a charm roll.
Ooh. Charm. Just straight charm?
Straight charm.
Okay. 14.
Let me look in the back for you. I think there might be something in the storeroom. And so he puts down the cup that he was working with and drops his rag onto the table, to the bar, and goes back to the storeroom. He comes back a few moments later and he sets down this heavy bundle. This has the name on it, I believe.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And he grabs the bag, goes in there, and he finds a big purse of coins, and he looks at it and he's like,
Thank you very much. The 7 Stars definitely thanks you for its patronage.
all right, I will relay that message to my master.
Now, is there anything else that you want, or...
No, sir. I am retrieving another message here, and then I'll be on my way.
Fine then. Off you go.
While he was doing that, I went over and stood out of hearing distance, but within eyesight of Lord Walsham.
Okay. He sees you, and he actually raises a hand and signals for you to come over.
I'm right behind him, so
Okay.
walk over to the table.
And I'm assuming you're with them as
Yes.
well? All right, cool.
My good lord.
Well, it is good to see you all. What is your news?
And I look at the gentleman in the robe.
I will decide who can hear the information that you have. What is your news?
Very well, sir. My lord, We have found that Lord Dyncham is involved in this plot.
He's a member of the court.
I understand, sir. However, when we were investigating the incident site, we were attacked and abducted.
Abducted, you say?
Yes, sir.
But you're here now.
We managed to escape.
That's what you hired us for, is our skills.
I hired you to find information out, not to blunder into a trap.
Huh. They weren't expecting us to be there like we were not expecting them. They happened to come up on us from the woods.
So you're saying that a roving band of marauders came upon you from the woods?
Not marauders.
They were there to retrieve something that they had lost.
More like, shall we say, priests?
You were beaten up by priests?
No.
Archers.
Archers are the one that took us down. However, we say priests because of the item they came to retrieve happened to be a book.
What kind of book?
It was a prayer book, I would say. Yes, from the Church of Remus.
So you're saying that there was a Riemann prayer book on the road.
Just off the road at the location of the incident, yes.
Then how does that tie to Lord Dyncham?
Well, as I said, we were abducted. And as we found our escape, we happened to be on the Dyncham estate.
So you're telling me that a bunch of holy men assaulted you on the road and...
No, I wouldn't say holy, but...
Grayson walks back over and it's like,
Brother, what do you think of this accusation?
I think that to be bested by priests is a little sad for
Priests?
your...
I use the term priest.
what priests?
They're carrying prayer books. They're not martial
They
artists.
were retrieving a prayer book.
Fair enough. Not priests. They are servants sent to acquire items. They can't be that skilled in the art of war.
They weren't that skilled.
Skilled enough to win.
We were outnumbered. Significantly.
I think we did pretty well considering our disadvantages.
Oh boy. Grayson shakes his head, just like,
So, just to make sure that I understand what you're telling me. Individuals who may or may not have been religious in order attacked you as you were at the site.
Correct.
And you were taken back as prisoners to Dyncham House.
Correct.
They were Dencham's men.
They were Dyncham's men. They were
They
not...
were Dencham's men.
All right, well, that clears that up.
They were
there to retrieve a book for Dyncham.
and also, while we were there, they were conducting a mass.
Oh, on the Dyncham property.
On the road? Oh, on the
Dyncham
estate.
At the
estate.
estate.
On the estate. Okay.
They were
All right. Well,
conducting the mass.
things are becoming a little bit more clear now. So you're saying that one of the members of the High Court has been conducting Riemann masses on his estate,
correct, sir.
and that this individual is somehow tied into the gears that were stolen.
That's the best
Somehow,
we can
yes.
surmise at this point, as in we found their prayer book at the site of the crime.
Do you have this prayer book with you still?
I look at Grayson. Was that amongst the things that we retrieved back with our stuff?
I would doubt it. I mean, that's what they came back
I know,
for,
but-
and they would
I'm
have
just
taken
saying.
it.
My lord, you trust these men knew what they were reading in this prayer book?
It was in a language I could not understand. He apparently figured out it
I
was...
could not read all of it, but I know enough of it to recognize what it was.
I would be curious to see this prayer book, if I could get my hands on it.
Well, that suits our purposes quite well, Brother Benedict, because I was going to ask you to join them anyway.
I would be willing to. They look like they could use some help.
Well, we could all use the help of our Lord and Savior.
Amen.
Demetrius is just narrowing his eyes at Brother Benedict, just like, that was very uncouth of you.
Grayson pipes up and says, I agree. They could use your help.
I'm just gonna look. I'm like, well, we're really a ragtag group, so why not add another and just make it even more ragtag?
Well, what you say is grave news. And we're going to find out the rest of what he has to say right after this.
Taylor, how would you describe our show?
It's like a D&D podcast, but we don't play D&D.
Yup.
It's set in space with 6 different races,
That all consider themselves human,
even though some are water-breathing frog people.
and some are massive brutish nerds with face ridges.
Some are just big assholes. Jeff is the guy in charge.
I am the lore master.
It's set in the future.
Actually, it's a different fantasy universe.
Okay, and we roll dice.
It's called Shattered Worlds RPG, and you're all invited. Shattered Worlds.
Grave news indeed. I cannot take this to the crown with this kind of consequences to the royal court. This is something that could shatter the kingdom. This could cause civil war. You do realize that blaming someone that is as high as Dyncham in the queen's favor could cause a significant backlash. So we cannot bring anything to the crown without verifying. I will need you to trail Dyncham, learn his daily activities, find out where he goes, who he meets, what he does on a daily basis to ensure that what you are telling me is in fact the truth and not just some wild supposition that you came up with because you wound up on someone's property because someone is using his land for their own gain, which is entirely a possibility.
I will say the mass was attended by everyone on the estate.
I was about to mention that.
Do you know Dyncham was on that estate at that time?
I did
mean-
not visually see him myself.
All of the servants, all of
The guards,
the guards, everyone.
all of the house help.
Which is why we were able to make our escape as easily as we did.
We even saw some of the family members there.
Really? Like sons, daughters, his wife?
I don't know that their person, but it was more than just the hired help.
So what you're telling me is that you know that something is wrong, and it is more than the hired help.
Yes.
But you can't tell me for a fact that a member of the royal court is planning treason.
It would be my assessment that if a member of the royal court has this much going on within his house that he is not aware of, that's a problem in and of itself as well. Wouldn't you think, sir?
There is a matter of his house, and then there is the matter of the crown. What I'm concerned about is the crown. So, if there is an issue within his home, yes, that will be dealt with. But we have to find out first if we can actually blame the man at the top.
What I was saying, the issue with his home and his relation being so close to the crown is a problem.
Regardless of what we were sent to investigate in the first place, what we witnessed on his estate
Is
what my
troubling.
friend is pointing out.
Yes, and that is troubling.
Yes.
If there is actually a Riemann mass happening at his house, that is disturbing news. And it will be looked into. But first, we have to determine if that is actually something that is coming from him himself or from some other source. Is he being misled? Is there someone who is bringing something into his house that he does not know the full intent? He might be thinking that he is engaging in orthodox practice, when in fact he has been duped and misled and brought into the heterodox. And Brother Benedict here will be able to help us assess that situation.
Yes, I have studied religion in depth. I will definitely keep an eye out for artifacts, even of the Riemann Church.
But for the time being, as we continue looking into what is going on in his household, we have to establish what he is doing in and of himself.
I agree, sir. We just wanted to bring what we knew thus far to your attention.
And I appreciate that. All right. Orders. You have them. Any further questions?
Can I have breakfast?
It's sitting right there.
That's mine? Can I have yours too?
Barman, bring him whatever it is he wants to eat.
All of it, please.
I want it
That would be 3 guineas worth of food.
Is this a problem?
You have 3 guineas to pay for?
How much are you paying me?
Patriotism.
And how much can patriotism buy me?
Just about as much as faith can.
So the world.
If that is what you
Score one
believe.
for the priest.
If that is what you believe, then that is what you will get.
Fair enough.
But it will be in your own heart.
Fine, I'll settle with my breakfast.
And he goes ahead and starts tucking in. Anybody else want breakfast?
I believe it's on the house.
Yeah, someone else is buying.
All right, well, Lord Walsham puts his hands on the table and pushes himself up. I will leave this in your hands, but I expect a full report within the week.
Absolutely. Understood, sir.
And be sure that you do not come here with suppositions. I want full information. Understood?
Understood.
Walsham sweeps his cloak around him, pulls up his hood against the chill, and says, "Good day to you, then."
Day, my lord.
Exits. You pray to your lord with that mouth?
Only all I got.
So, we need to bring up some dirt on my acquaintance, Cyril.
One way we can find out if Dyncham actually is involved in these masses is finding out when masses are and whether he attends them. Based on timing of when he is missing from public sight and when he is in public sight and what time we know the mass was when we were there. This will give us significant clues whether he's been attending regularly or not.
Sounds logical.
Timing's everything.
Ching ching! For those of you at home, Jeff just used his catchphrase, so earned himself a hero point.
You know roughly what time it was when the mass was? I mean,
You had been out for several hours and escaping the.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, by the light of the day.
I could
when
estimate what time
We're
it
saying
was.
roughly what time of day.
You knew it was in the afternoon.
The afternoon.
Yeah.
I would have been able to figure it out.
Yeah.
Does the Riemann Church
Close.
hold mass at specific times every day?
Well, just in general, masses are typically held on feast days, and also holy days.
So do we have a feast day coming up here shortly this week?
Go ahead and roll
Preferably
me.
today.
Go ahead and roll me the dice.
So my religion,
That's correct.
9. That's 10. I can't count.
So you just got the target number. You know that there is going to be a feast day coming up. What feast day do you know that the Riemann Church is going to be having? This is the part where Aaron gets to make things up.
Oh, well, that's I was like, no, I don't know. That's asking you.
See, just to explain my GMing style, I don't know anything.
Okay.
He's
Deal.
making it up.
He
as
learned
we
it from
go.
me.
Deal.
I have a piece of paper here, but that's just to fool you to think that I know what's going on.
Thankfully, he doesn't follow Johnny's laws of physics.
Yeah.
Golly.
Okay, so it's winter. It is early winter, right? Because it's still cold.
Yes.
So we're talking January, February.
So this gives you a lot of opportunity right now because you can make up a holiday out of whole cloth. You get to name a saint if you want to. You get to choose what is happening during that feast and why it is being celebrated. You've got a lot to work with here.
I'm thinking we can kind of Saint Valentine's Day.
Oh, really?
It is a celebration of love, namely the love of the Lord, of course, but it is celebrated as each person sees fit.
Now, is this just a Riemann holiday, or is it?
You have to remember that the Church of the Angels,
Right.
the Angelin
Yeah.
Church, is basically the Riemann Church plus the divorce of one man.
Yeah. Oh,
So-
I understand that, but throughout history, we have seen that religions tend to change.
Well, the Anglican Church still celebrates most of the same
Yes.
masses and
Right.
feasts as the Catholic Church.
So yes, St. Valentine's,
St. Valentine's.
it is a celebration of the love of our Lord. There are certain observances, such as early rising, first thing in the morning, for a reciprocal expression of love to the Lord, as well as a feast in the evening
Okay.
as a thanks.
So we're going to go ahead and say that feast day is 5 days away. It's close, But you guys are not going to be able to use it to like make any kind of determinations about what's going on with his religious status. Not before the end of the week, which is
Correct.
Would a church have preparations leading up to?
Likely. The feast is extravagant in some practices. A lot of food. Oh, food. If they're having it, can we attend?
If we work our way in?
Oh, I'm sorry. Food. Yes. Lots of food will be there. So yes, there will be preparations.
Okay.
That was the question.
We may have somebody that we may be able to strong arm into giving us some information about the preparations that might happen.
I'm not so sure you could strong arm anyone.
You don't know me, sir. I deal in information.
Oh, persuade. You're gonna persuade someone. Okay.
I see you are a very literal person.
Yes, I am literally a person.
Yes.
Are we done here?
I believe we are.
so. What is your plan of attack at this point? Because you have been told to monitor what he is doing, his day-to-day activities, and everything like that. And you're trying to figure out how to get in with like the religious side of things.
So, out of character,
Yes.
what Grayson will be trying to go for is to... I mean, we know someone who works on the estate. Unfortunately, they're not an ally.
Yeah.
No,
That's why we need dirt on the person to sort of coerce them
I
into...
wanted to say, do I know whom they employ for their chimney sweep grounds?
Go ahead and roll me your chimney sweep skill
All right.
to see if you know somebody who would be working.
9.
You've heard rumors. There's this one braggart, Anselm, Anslm, Anselm, I think that's how you say it, who always talks about how he gets a lot of aristocratic contracts, but you've seen the quality of his work.
Yeah. Well, I know I do better work.
Right. And you know that he spends a lot of his time waiting for contracts to come in.
Chances are they don't know exactly who we are.
The only person who might know who you are is Cyril.
Yeah.
Unless he's taught, so everybody.
Yes. Unless he's talking. He doesn't necessarily know who I am.
Even Rod.
I'm writing secretly. I don't like this.
Yes.
Grayson's going to say, well, it probably, Cyril, judging by the contents of this bag, probably has not talked since he gave in to my request, which I cannot distribute these here, but elsewhere.
Let us go back to a place where we can be in private.
So you guys want to leave the 7 stars and go back to maybe your
I
workshop?
guess I have the
You have the
shop.
location.
Your headquarters.
A place to be.
So, Brother Benedict, this is your first time seeing the shop.
Okay.
So what do you think about it? Think about his setup.
It's different.
Yeah.
There's stuff.
There's walls.
I've lived in a hut in the woods for so long. I want to touch everything.
Do not touch anything. Do not touch anything.
But what's this?
No.
What about?
No. I double check all the locks on all my stuff and close the things that were left open. And putting things away.
I go ahead and I turn around and I stand in the corner and kind of, I don't know, sourpuss face.
Do the cuckoo clocks go off and that one's always 10 seconds late?
Nope.
On the way there, Grayson is going to sort of look in the bag and find his fake coins and take them out of the bag and just put them in his pocket.
Jeremy, go ahead and roll me a die. On the table, please.
Yes, 4.
Okay.
So we get to the shop.
Okay.
He's going to put the bag on the table, sort of open it up, and then start saying, it's like, here are our items.
Okay. So you hand out the...
Grayson just takes his and then steps back and says,
Right.
I don't know what you guys had, so...
I quickly grab my items.
Mhm. So it was
stow them back to my
basically
person.
your gear and like
Yeah.
your weapons and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Do you have your staff with you, Brother Benedict?
I do.
Tell us what it looks like.
It is about just under 6 foot tall.
Okay.
It is wood. It has hand wrappings on about
Where you would put your hand.
where I
go
put
up,
my
yeah.
hand, and it is lightly carved.
What kind of design is on it?
Scroll work.
The scroll work. You're glad to get your pistol back, Valentine?
Oh yes. Got some trouble without it.
Uh-oh.
That looks neat. What's that? That thing in your hand.
You don't want to touch that if you're unfamiliar with it. It can be quite dangerous.
Let's just say you're a priest, correct?
Monk. Priests are.
It may get you closer to seeing the Lord if handled improperly.
Okay.
Well, gentlemen, I think I may need to go find Toad and go try to acquire a new contract.
So you want to go ahead and try and acquire a contract with Dyncham House?
Yes.
Okay.
Before I go over there, I want to get a list of who my current clientele is, the high-ranking members that I have.
Okay.
And Mr. Valentine,
Yes, sir.
Clean up a bit
we
myself.
may be able to work together to get Cyril to be getting us some information. First, we need dirt on him.
I see. Oh, what plan do you have in mind?
Since he may recognize you, a costume for yourself might
Ah.
be in order.
Yes, and I am a performer, and I can't really say no to a performance, so I'm already intrigued and probably going to be in on your idea.
It's more of just a disguise so you can follow him to get dirt on him. So the plan
Okay.
so far, I think the best would be, with the upcoming feast, celebration of love, to try and make a visit to the home of his sister in hopes to lure him out to just know his whereabouts.
Did you say sister? Lord Dyncham has a sister?
No.
Cyril. Cyril has a sister. Can I meet Cyril's sister?
You see Grayson's face just go completely blank. No.
Speaking of sister, you know if she's cute or not?
That was my question.
Well, what?
Forget about the sister. Cyril is your task, sir.
But his sister can be my reward.
And
Which
he
one of you-
removes, he pulls back his cloak and is like, so could be a bolt from this crossbow.
What was one of your beliefs? Love is for fools, but anyone can be in lust?
Pretty much.
All right. So we have Johnny wants to go ahead and make a contract with Dyncham to clean their chimneys, and there's a lot of chimneys on
Oh,
this
there's a
estate.
lot of chimneys.
Yeah.
And since I have a reputation of being the cleanest sweep in town,
It sounds like Jeremy and Mike are going to go see Haley to talk about Cyril. Demetrius, what do you want to do?
sounds like you need an apprentice. You were not touching it.
I don't know if it looks a little dirty. He's your guy.
I'm not going to allow that.
Do you have anywhere you want to go? Do you want to try and track down Dyncham? Do you want to maybe try and make some contacts with people to find out about his exports, imports, that kind of thing?
Well, I'm pretty sure since he's a lord and has schedules to keep, he keeps clocks. Would I know who has made clocks for him in the past?
You might be able to find that out at the guild house.
All right. I'm going to go figure that out and go and do a repair run.
All right. So we're splitting the party. I love it.
Always fun for the GM.
Oh yeah.
Brother Benedict, what would you like to do, sir?
Who are you going to tag along with?
Or he can do his own
He can't
thing.
do his own thing.
I was thinking I would approach the local church to try to find anyone who is... Because obviously if they are practicing a Reman Mass, they have to have someone trained in churchology. And so try to find someone who's a little suspicious or off, because they have to have a day job rather than just a secret.
So you think that he might actually have someone who is an
Yes.
Angelan priest coming in to do a Riemann service?
Yes, someone who is secretly practicing the Angelan religion while secretly conducting the Riemann Mass.
Okay. I'm just writing down our laundry list of things to do. How I can make your life miserable. I'm good at that, by the way.
He is.
Very much so.
Tyrannosaurus bees.
Oh, that was my favorite. Yeah, I'll tell you about that.
Yeah.
We'll explain that.
We have 4 different people. So let's see who will go first. We'll go ahead and go with you two.
Grayson and Valentine.
Grayson and Valentine. So, is this going to be... Are you going to go see Haley together, or are you going to send this...
No. No. No.
What?
The plan...
I'll stay on point.
No. The
I might
plan...
have a little fun in the midst of it all, but I'll stay on point.
No. The idea is to dress Valentine up in costume, and since Haley and Cyril both still live at home with their parents, was to visit the house and hoping that Cyril would be there to witness Grayson coming to see Haley, which would cause a problem. And at that point, Valentine can just trail Cyril at the beginning of the day, so when Cyril might be heading out and about to wherever he is employed.
This guy's trying to put the moves on your lady.
I know he is.
They wait in the bed.
You're showing a lot of self-restraint. I don't think that will last very long. I am making a track here. 3 boxes.
Well,
Three.
as he keeps talking about Haley, Grayson is feeling much more at ease about giving away Valentine's bag of fake coins to the bartender.
Okay.
All right.
In his head, and he's like, that was a good choice.
So we're gonna set up a little challenge between the two of you because this is going to be fun. Every time that he makes, if he tries to like charm Haley in any way or anything like that while you're with them, you're going to have to make an opposed roll, to see if you maintain your cool.
Okay.
3 strikes and you're out.
Okay.
And something might happen.
Now, question.
Yes.
One of my magical skills is charm.
Yes, it is.
So could I use that as my opposed roll?
No, because you're trying to maintain your cool. So it'd be more like an emotional thing than you trying to charm Haley.
Okay.
So
he's trying to charm Haley.
He's trying to charm you. You're trying to remain.
But
now, if you want to use that to charm Haley,
and then at that point, I think that gives me what, like plus whatever to persuasion.
Yeah.
I think it's plus 5 die to persuasion.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I don't remember that off the top of my head. I think that's what it is. But if I were to charm Haley, I think Grayson would be able to know that, oh, I've got this. I don't need to worry about...
Target number 15 for charm.
Yes, I got that down.
This spell grants a 4D bonus to all charm skills.
4D.
But still, 4 dice is a humongous bonus there. So yeah, if you cast charm successfully, which with a 15 in your magic skill, you should be able to do okay.
And with 3 hero points sitting right in front of me.
Yes. So here's the challenge. He's not going to be too pissed off if you're trying to compete for her favor. Because he's a charming guy. He's a smooth operator. He knows what's going on. Am I correct, sir?
Yes.
So he's not going to be fazed by you trying to charm her. But if he puts the moves on her, then you're going to get a little hot under the collar.
Okay.
If you make 3
failed,
if he makes a charm roll, then you have to oppose it with wit. If you fail the wit roll, we mark it off the box. After 3 times, then you guys might get into a fist fight, or some kind of altercation might happen between the two of you.
A bout of fisticuffs among gentlemen.
Exactly. Considering your guys' fairly low might skill.
This might be
Stop it! Get away!
This could be quite embarrassing for you.
This could be very entertaining.
We might both be losing her at the end of this.
Okay. You've left the shop at this point, and you're going to go ahead and go to Haley's home. And that's the same house that she shares with her parents, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and Cyril, as last you knew, he was still living there as well.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So describe the house to me as you're approaching it. What does it look like? Does it stand out in any way? Does it have anything that really makes it distinctive in the neighborhood?
No, it's not really. It's a common house, so it's like jammed in a row of houses. It's not its own estate. It's got 2 stories. Looks like a balcony, like a rooftop area.
So it looks like they're doing pretty well for themselves, but it's definitely a middle class kind of dwelling. It's not it's not a hovel, but it's not an estate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you have any kind of disguise roll?
I have streetwise, persuasions.
Go ahead and make a performance roll for me.
Alright.
12, 18, 19 for your roll. So you're able to disguise yourself pretty easily. What do you want to disguise yourself as?
Very average commoner, I don't really stick out too much, just kind of blend in with the crowd.
Okay. So you're wearing like common clothes and everything like that. Do you put on any fake like beards or anything like that? Or spectacles to hide everything?
Yeah, I'll kind of like put on like a little face hair, kind of like dirty my face up a little bit so I don't really show any noticeable features sticking out.
Okay, sounds
Kind
good.
of put on some like just like a little ratted hood or something like that.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a single die. Okay, sounds good.
And as we're walking up, Grayson's gonna say to Valentine, he's like, okay, here's my plan.
Alright.
There is their vendor at the street corner. Just hang out there. They always have people there, so it's a good way to blend in. I'm going to go up to the door and attempt to get Haley to come out, which in turn may bring Cyril out. At any point, if Cyril comes out, I might get punched in the face. Do not be alarmed. It has happened many times before.
If he does hit you in the face, that'll make you slightly just less attractive to Haley.
Hot pies. Get your hot
But
pies.
don't worry.
Stay. Your job is to just stay inconspicuous, and then hopefully Cyril will be leaving soon after that, and follow him for information. We want dirt on him.
No worries. I'll get lots of dirt on Cyril. Have no fear. I will get our job.
All right. I'm trusting your skills, sir.
I'll be your man.
All right.
So you go up to the door.
He goes up to the door, knocks on the door, sort of stands back, reaches into his coat pocket, and then holds his hands behind his back.
Okay. And the door opens, and it's Haley.
Ah, Miss Beckett. Lovely to see you this morning.
Grayson, I don't know where you've been. What? And she throws herself around you and pulls you into the house and slams the door.
And as this is happening, Grayson's just, his eyes are wide open. It's like, in his mind, it's like, this has never happened before. What is going on?
She lets go of you and she's pacing back and forth through the common room downstairs, and she like sits down at the table and she just puts her head in her hands and she's like, I don't know what we're going. I need help.
What do you need help with?
Mother and father, they made a bad deal. They've been taken to debtor's prison. And I have to raise the money.
How much do they owe?
500 guineas.
500?
500 guineas. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Well,
You're the only one I can turn to.
what about Cyril?
I haven't seen him for months. He's moved out.
Where has he moved to?
He's not going to punch you. Why do you keep asking questions about him? I need your help to figure out how I'm going to get my parents out of prison. I'm going to lose the house.
I will help. If Cyril might be able to help as well.
He's gone off to become a lord, he says. There's nothing. I've tried to ask him for help, and he laughs in my face. He won't do anything to help. I don't even know where he is at this point.
Well, I will definitely do everything in my power to help out your family. It seems like Cyril needs to be reined in as well. Because as your brother, he should be the first one to help you. But I will fill in that place.
Will you?
Yes, I will.
I feel so alone. There's been no one to help me. And the family business, we've been struggling to even just make ends meet with his shop. And with father away, not being able to make the shoes, I don't know what's going to happen.
You said shoes?
Yes.
So no one is making shoes?
That's correct, yes. The collar shop is closed with him in prison.
I will definitely be able to help with that. Definitely.
How?
Some people owe me some favors.
500 guineas worth of favors? We're not going to sell that many shoes in 5 years, 10 years. I don't know where we're going to get this kind of money.
Do not worry.
Easy for you to say.
But I will need to find Cyril.
He's dead to me. Don't speak to me of him again.
Go ahead and make a charm roll.
I'm just going to do basic charm here because he's out of sorts. He's not even thinking using magic at this point. Whoa, maybe he doesn't even need to. 19.
Okay, so at this point you can pretty much say anything and she's willing to listen.
All right. He says, forgive me, but I must. You say Cyril is dead to you. At a moment like this, you know that my Aunt Ivy would have done anything to keep my family together.
But she didn't.
That was beyond her control, but since then, she has done her best. So in order for you to restore everything to your family, Cyril must be a part of this. I need to know everything about where Cyril has run off to. Because with family helping, that has much more leverage than just myself.
Johnny, go ahead and make me a single die roll. I could try to send him a message. All I know is that he's at an estate on the river. And that's all I know. With some lord, he says that the service that he'll provide will bring our family great esteem, but he refuses to talk to me about it.
Does he know about your parents?
I told him, and he said that was of no consequence. But they're sitting in prison right now, and I don't know what to do.
Estate on the river. I'll begin my search there.
Alright, but how are we going to raise the money?
Be at your shop at dusk. There will be a package waiting for you.
Alright, I guess I have to trust you. And at this point, we're going to go ahead and call it a week. So thank you very much for listening to this episode of Bone Throwers Theater. We will see you next time. Thank you for listening to Bone Throwers Theater. Our cast is Aaron, Jeff, Jeremy, Johnny, Mike, and Jordan. We are releasing this podcast under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives 3.0 Unported license. That means that you can share the podcast, but please do not modify it or try to gain financially from it. If you would like to visit our website, you can do so at bonethrowerstheater.com. If you would like to send us an email, you can do so at bonethrowerstheater@gmail.com. Our Twitter handle is @bonethrowerstheater, and also you can look us up on Facebook and Google+. And until next time, may the bones fall ever in your favor. This has been a Nerd Circle podcast production.